In this exercise, we are going to start with this sketch and we will end up with this result. File, place, exercise 11, click, check template and place. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select the ellipse tool, set the fill to none, set the stroke color to yellow, and stroke weight to 60. I'm going to zoom, place the cursor right here, press shift, and I'm going to create this ring like this. I'll let go. Now I'm gonna select the type tool and make one click. I'm gonna choose the font Arial, font style black, and the font size I'm gonna set this to 400. I'm gonna select everything and write the word Sonic with the selection tool and move the text right here. I'm gonna set the font to yellow and the stroke to this shade of blue. Stroke weight, I'm gonna set this to 20 points. Now we move to the logo. I'm gonna zoom on this one. Pen tool. I'm gonna set the fill to none and stroke 1 point. I'm gonna start from here, click and drag, anchor, 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 click and drag here, click and drag here, and I'm gonna close the path. I click and drag here like this. I'm gonna press Control and I'm gonna move this handle a little bit like this. I think this looks fine. And I'm gonna move to the eye now. I'm gonna zoom like this. Click, click and drag, click, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag here, and click and drag here, anchor. Now I'm gonna do the eye, click and drag, click, and I'm gonna close the path like this. With direct selection tool, I can improve this path like this. I think this looks fine. I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. selection tool. I'm gonna select this one, swap fill and stroke. I'm gonna select this one. I'm gonna set the color to white and the stroke to none. I'm gonna select both shapes, Pathfinder, and I'm gonna click here, click to minus front like this, and now I removed this part completely. I'm gonna zoom like this. Direct selection tool, I'm gonna select this point and this point. I'm gonna round them a little bit like this. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna select this point, and this point, and I'm gonna round the corners a little bit like this. Now we have everything we need. I'm gonna start transforming these shapes to 3D objects, starting with this one. First I have to go to Window, 3D and Materials. I'm gonna select the selection tool. I'm gonna select the logo first, and I'm gonna click here, extrude. I get the 3D shape. I'm gonna go down here, rotation, preset, and I'm gonna choose font like this. I go up, I'm gonna activate bevel. I'm gonna change the bevel shape to round like this. I'm gonna set repeat to 3. The height, I'm gonna set this to 70, and the width, I'm gonna set this to, I'm gonna decrease it, I'm gonna set this to 15 like this. I think this looks fine. And the spacing, I'm gonna decrease also 30 to 10%, and I think this looks fine. I can move to the next object, the word Sonic. I select, same thing, I'm gonna click on extrude. The depth, I'm gonna make it 150. I'm gonna activate the bevel by clicking here. I get this effect. I choose bevel shape classic. I'm not gonna change that. I'm just gonna rotate the word. Of course, I can rotate using these, or I can come here, put the cursor right here, rotate freeform, and I can rotate however I want, like this. Control Z to go back. I can do that, or I can place the cursor right here, rotate around Y, and rotate around this axis. I can put the cursor right here, rotate around X, and I can rotate around this axis. And I can put the cursor right here, rotate around Z, and I can rotate around this axis. I'm gonna put the cursor right here, rotate around Y like this, rotate around X a little bit like this, and rotate around Z. I'm gonna keep it like this. I think this looks fine. I'm just gonna go to lighting, and I'm gonna change the light source from standard to right. Now the light is coming here, from the right. I'm gonna leave this like this and move to the next object, this ring right here. I click on object. This time I'm gonna click on inflate. I get an effect like this. Select once again. I'm gonna go to materials, Here we have metallic. I'm going to increase this from 0 to 1. I go all the way, and now we get this metallic effect. I'm going to select this ring. I'm going to press Alt. I'm going to duplicate like this, and Control D to repeat the same action. Now I'm going to put the cursor right here, rotate around Y, and I'm going to rotate a little bit like this to the right, a little bit. This one, rotate around Y, and I'm going to rotate a little bit to the left, like this, just a little bit. And now we finished doing all the 3D objects. I can go ahead and hide the template. I no longer need it. Of course, if I was working on a serious project, I would render all the 3D objects. I'm gonna select them one by one, click here and click on render, but I'm not gonna do that. Now I'm just gonna close. And now the exercise is finished. You go do the same and don't forget to save.